Who is Mitt Romney going to pick as his running mate? Let's go to Colleen McCain-Nelson in Washington to get some handicapping on this horse race. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we're looking at, the field is starting to narrow, and of course one of the big possibilities or candidates is Marco Rubio of Florida. Is he a candidate to become the Veep? Is he not?
Well, that's an interesting question. It certainly was sounding yesterday like he was not a candidate, or at least not a candidate on the short list. People close to Rubio said that he was not being vetted. He'd not received requests from the Romney campaign to fill out questionnaires or provide documents. And early in the day, the Romney campaign kind of brushed off questions about that, said we're not going to talk about anybody who might or might not be on the list. But then as kind of pushback intensified about the idea that Rubio might not be considered, eventually Romney came back and said, okay, we're vetting him. He's definitely being vetted.
I guess in some ways that's to be expected given Rubio's popularity, but at the same point, Tim Pawlenty is looking like a front runner as well.
Pawlenty's definitely emerged in the last several weeks as a favorite among Romney insiders and with Romney himself. Pawlenty's worked really hard as a surrogate. He's somebody who endorsed Romney very early on. He did not come late to this party, and so he's been working hard for Romney, well ahead of this point in time. And he's taken on a lot of high-profile assignments and handled them well, but he's also worked hard behind the scenes in some low-profile assignments. A lot of people say that Romney and Pawlenty have developed a friendship. They feel comfortable with each other. Pawlenty fills in some gaps for Romney. He brings kind of a blue-collar background. He's very relatable, which answers some questions about Romney's wealth that could fill in some gaps for Romney.
So he'd be sort of a counterweight, or seen as a counterweight to that wealth question. Another guy who was a front runner for a while was Rob Portman. He seems to have dropped out of things.
Well, Rob Portman's definitely still in the discussion. He's the senator from Ohio, and he's part of the discussion. He was on the Romney bus tour. He's been campaigning with Romney, so it's not like he's off the list entirely, but there are questions about whether the fact that Portman served in the Bush administration, whether that could become an Achilles heel on the campaign trail.
And what about Christie, the New Jersey governor, Tea Party favorite, sort of seen as the dark horse in all this? Where is he?
He's been mentioned. He's not been mentioned as much on the short list. I think Christie is seen as somebody who might kind of overshadow Romney, and it's not clear that Romney feels as comfortable with Christie. So I don't think he's completely out of the discussion, but it doesn't appear that he's a likely pick.
And here's a special note. This Friday, Senator Marco Rubio will be a special guest of Washington Bureau Chief Jerry Seib on D.C. Bureau. Tune in then.